and a quick intro into the birth of Urban Clean. Tell me how it is that a property developer suddenly is with a trusty vacuum cleaner, a mop and a bucket. What was behind the story?
Yeah. Well, I think just from saying that, you know that there's a story of disaster around here, because it's probably not going to be the first thing a property developer thinks they're going to do is they're going to rush into starting a cleaning business. So I was a little bit younger then. I probably still do silly things, but I was doing silly things back then. I was being a very ambitious entrepreneur. I probably bit more into, or try to chew off more than I could really, take. And I had a number of property developments around Brisbane, and this was around 2010, 2011, and 2011. You guys who are here will remember we had a huge flooding event, and I actually had 3 sites on the go. I was building, unit developments, townhouses. I did some small commercial stuff, and one of our business partners on 2 of those sites was a builder, and all their jobs got delayed out of this. They end up being in financial distress. They actually went into receivership, and so the banks all came to me and said, "Okay, well, you're taking over." And I said, "Well, look, I can't do this." And so I saw this as a slow-moving train wreck. So I say like it happened like in a month, but it didn't. I could see this gradually happening. So I thought, I'm going to start a cleaning business, because it seemed to make sense to me. It didn't look like I had to put a lot of cash into it. It was something that was ongoing residual income that I certainly didn't have when I was sort of building and selling, and it was a lot of risk, and I was trying to get away from that type of risk and big capital expenses. And to be honest, sometimes things can look really glamorous on the outside, but the reality is very different. So it can seem like, you're being extremely successful because you're in property, and obviously there's that prestige and that glamour. But sometimes, it can be a little bit shallow, especially if you don't have a lot of sort of asset backing behind you. So I started looking at cleaning, and in fact, it's very appropriate that today we're in the Gold Coast, because as I was coming down here, even though we're based in Brisbane, my first ever office cleaning contract was in the Gold Coast. It was in Bundall. So that was our first ever job that we got in Urban Clean. And then we expanded and grew and built in Brisbane. But then also, I met Sam Rees and worked with IP Partnership, which are based down on the Gold Coast. So in one sense, having this book here today and celebrating, it's not just my success, it's the success of everybody who's been part of this journey, all the franchise partners we have over 100 franchise partners, and in a sense, the book would never have been written if it wasn't for all the franchise partners and all their success and all the people that have been part of this business.
So about the book, the franchise business, Urban Clean as a franchise, started in 2014. What made you decide to share, in a sense, your toolkit with this book with everyone? Why give up your secrets?
That's a good question. I've been asked that a few times since I've written the book. Why did you say all these things? You're giving a lot of secrets away. And part of my motivation was, like, I've always started the business because I wanted the franchise side of the business, because I saw there was a real need. People needed help getting started in their business. And that was the reason I franchised in the first place, because I was going to sell some of my business off. So I had some business that I built. I was, winning cleaning contracts and managing cleaners and teams of cleaners. And I had a bunch of cleaning contracts that were way up from the rest of my business. And I thought, I'll just put them up for sale and see what happens. And then all these people started calling me. I didn't realize that people really wanted to get started in their own cleaning business and wanted to buy these jobs from me. And that's when I thought, maybe I should look at franchising. Maybe there's a way I can actually help people get started in their own business. So the book is, in a sense, an upshot of that whole idea of, well, I want to help people. The cleaning industry is a huge industry. I mean, there's just billions of dollars that get spent on it in Australia alone. Worldwide, it's just almost astronomical. It's like hundreds of billions of dollars that get spent on cleaning. So there's plenty of room for lots of people to operate a cleaning business. Like, some people may decide they want to join us and be part of Urban Clean. Some people may want to just get the book and learn some of the things that have been successful for us. I see there's a real need in the industry for a different approach. There's a different approach to managing a cleaning business, a different approach to managing customers and people growing their business. A lot of people are making, I think, big blunders in this industry, and you know, not really focusing around people and the success of people, like whether they're, you know, they could be franchise partners, or the success of people that are sort of team members inside their business as a cleaning business. So I thought this book is a great book to write, to sort of share some of, I think, best practices in the industry, some secrets to success. Obviously, I can't share everything in the book because you'd have to buy the franchise. Like, and my franchise partners probably wouldn't be too happy about me sharing every single secret out there. But I wanted to give people at least an idea of what's involved to get started in a cleaning business. And it's also something that I wanted to give not just to people who are interested in starting a cleaning business, but also to my franchise partners, because sometimes, you know, they can see manuals, they can attend our training sessions and our workshops, but I wanted to give them at least a little book where the core principles of what made our success what it is today, they could just have it in their hand and they have easy access to it as well.
So it's a treasure trove, tips, inspiration, ideas, a how-to. If there is one main takeaway from this book that you want the reader to be left with, what would that be?
Oh gosh, that's a big question. Actually, I do know the answer to that. Okay, so I want people to see a cleaning business as a phenomenal business to get involved in. So a lot of people look down on the cleaning industry. A lot of people don't think it's because, you know, like I was in property. Okay, so that's because a lot of people want to be in property development, or they want to be in IT, or they want to be into some sort of, well, now it's like artificial intelligence or some other sort of new
thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so that has a lot of a pull. Whereas a cleaning business, often people say, oh, you're involved in a cleaning business. I know when I say, oh, look, I've got a cleaning business, I know the status in some people's minds, oh, my status has just fallen right down to the floor, maybe below in the car park, because I've got a cleaning business.
Could you pass it up?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. So one thing I want someone to take away from this book is a cleaning business is a great business, a great small business to get involved in. I actually would be adamant to say that there's probably more millionaires in the cleaning industry than any other industry, even though it's looked down on, and it's I think it's a very necessary service. It's a great service. It's very much a people business. And it's like, yes, you've got the technical side around cleaning, but cleaning is a people business. So your teams of cleaners are all about people and helping people get started the next day in their office. So having a productive workplace. So it's an industry that's often overlooked or underestimated, and hopefully my book can change that.
I just want to scratch a little deeper, and I want to ask you if you could share with us the hardest thing you've had to learn as an entrepreneur, which has actually ended up being your best teacher.
Oh, that's a great question. The hardest thing that I've learned as an entrepreneur. I think the hardest thing is the most obvious thing about a business, and that is your success is people. So there is nothing else in business other than people, looking after people, serving people, seeing other people succeed, you know, who are in your team, or your customers, your community. There isn't anything else that is more important than people in business, but it's also the hardest thing. So it seems obvious, there's lots of books written about it, but boy, it's really hard to really serve people, in the sense that you just don't say, oh, look, I've got a great product that's going to help people, but how do you inspire people? How do you get people to work hard at their own goals and sort of get out of their own way? That is not easy. It's actually really, really hard. I'm still learning how to do that.
Okay. Now, I want to ask, this book, Clean Up with Franchising, it's a guide on how to franchise, but it's also, I guess, could fall into the category of mentorship. What role has mentorship had in your life, Damien, both in your personal and your professional life?
So mentorship has always played a big part of what I've done. I've always been of the view that to get somewhere you want to go, the easiest way is to find someone who's already been there and done that. And so I've always been looking for people who can be a mentor for myself. And I've always had the view that the best way to sort of pull people up is also to say, hey, look, you know, this is what I've done. These are some of the mistakes I've made. These are some of my successes. And here's how we can help you achieve that as well. And that's a big part of our franchise system as well, is actually mentoring people into their business. So it's not just training people and coaching people, but also mentoring them and being an ongoing support, you know, for our franchise partners, and then teaching our franchise partners as well to be that for their team. In our business, I do talk about franchising out the business, because we also have sub-franchisors, so master franchises, and that's in a sense an interesting thing of itself, to have actually people who, in a sense, I'm showing them how to show other people how to develop a business as well. So in a sense, I'm trying to train people to be mentors themselves for the franchise partners that are coming into the business.
That segues really well into my last question for you, which is values. We are our values. And I wondered which value or which purpose for you really underlines your work and is the most important thing that has guided you through the whole Urban Clean experience.
Well, I think part of the reason I started this business was that I could look after my family, I could provide for my family. And so I started this business with a fairly narrow focus. I wasn't thinking I was going to help lots of other people's families, or, you know, try and do anything incredible in the world. I just wanted to provide for my family and give them a good life, and give them the sort of the opportunities that I didn't have when I was growing up. And so I believe that a small business, is one of the best ways of doing that. I think it's a way that can give people, in a sense, a true sense of ownership in what they do, and also I guess freedom is probably the best way to describe it. Like, I was looking for financial freedom, but also for time freedom and freedom to spend you know, my life with my family and the people that I love most, and to be meaningful in my life. And so I see now this is an opportunity to give that to other people. So yes, through my book, people can learn how to do it, in a sense, work it out themselves, or people who want to join the franchise system as well, they can learn how to support their own life. And we've had a lot of people that have been able to buy houses, have been able to have lifestyles that they never thought possible, provide for their children. And yeah, it's a big part of what we're about and what we're trying to achieve.
It really is a family.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Damien. I hope you've all got something out of that, listening to Damien's story. And I hope you'll all buy the book, Clean Up with Franchising, so you can learn more about it. I will tell you that if you buy one of the books here today, which will be on the IP Partnership website as well, or one of the books here today, all the money will go to charity, and it's a lovely NGO on the Gold Coast, I believe, Sam, called Young Care. So anyone who buys the book today, all the money will go to Young Care, which is again, spreading it all around. So thank you for that. I also now want to ask somebody who's been very important as a mentor and a coach in Damien's life, Bill Stack, to say a couple of words. If you'd like to come up, Bill, and have a say about Damien, his work and the book.
Sure.
Okay, so how do you know Damien?
I met Damien through another coach in the industry.
Okay.
And he was looking for some assistance in growing what he had. And at that point, it was modest, but it had a purpose.
Are we talking just when it was
Literally
just
at the
the
beginning
one?
stages,
Okay,
like
right in the
mentioned
beginning.
book.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, sure. And but we knew right away, and like I had mentioned to others earlier, this guy has the ability to dream, connect it to his behavior. I didn't have to teach him that. He was a reader. He was willing to learn and not always think that he knew everything. And he had this sort of gift of being able to help people buy happily from him, right? He knew how to sell. He knew how to have those conversations. Once I had those criteria. It was a matter of, okay, just extracting more of that from him. And then I think he ended up catching the bug of helping other people do those same things, and that was a joy to watch.
What is it? I asked Damien earlier what he thought the main takeaway from this book, this treasure trove, this toolkit. For you, having been a part of it from the genesis of the book and the writing of it, and mentoring Damien all through his trajectory, what is the main takeaway that you'd like readers of this book to use in their lives, to really apply?
Right. To as far as practicality, I would reference back to the things I just mentioned. Don't think that you know it all. Be ready to be a sponge. I really would recommend being a reader for the rest of your life. It will not always serve you and serve the people who watch you read. People who aren't reading what you're reading, but they read what they want to read. And the other thing is really work on your communication skills. So those three things would be the main. That's how you make people better around you, so they can be better for themselves and other people. So
as an important coach and mentor in Damien's life, what's your message to him today?
We're just beginning. There's an international applicability to these tools, so it's a matter of having this be in different languages and helping all those families that you mentioned earlier grow. So that's we're still starting in my mind.
And we're watching.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. Thanks
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you. Come and Damien, come and.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for those words. Yeah. So everybody, again, thank you for coming. It's been a lovely chat, and
Thank you,
lovely to
Jill.
hear these words. I wish you so much luck. You deserve it. Please buy the book, read the book, and I hope to get a chance to talk to you all. Yes, Sam.
Is it okay to, Damien, do you mind if we have some questions from the floor?
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
great
absolutely.
idea. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's a great
yeah.
idea. Who's got some questions for Damien? Anybody got anything particular that they'd like to know about the pages of the book, or Damien's experience as an entrepreneur, some of his wisdom about how to fall down and get up?
Yeah, I can share lots of mistakes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Actually, David, I'd love to know just if you could just tell us about your global expansion that's planned. So you've got some exciting stuff happening. It'd be nice to share that.
Yeah, sure. So it works here. It works really well, and the concept that we developed actually originated overseas, and we've created an Australian take on it, and we've got a totally different approach in terms of like how we support and grow new business owners into their own cleaning business. So we want to take this overseas. We have already got ourselves organised actually with a start date over in the United States. We're starting in Nevada, and also the UK. We also in October we have a start date for New Zealand. So this is something that we want to take globally, and help other people have the same success that our business partners have had here in Australia.
What do you think you might be able to take abroad that's particularly Aussie or particularly different?
Well, the funny thing about owning a commercial cleaning business with franchising in particular is a lot of models, franchise models, have seen it as almost like a quasi subcontracting model. So someone comes in, they just want to buy some cleaning contracts, get started in their own business, but they're not really running the whole business. So often there's a head office that's kind of been the point of contact for the clients and doing supervising roles. And I thought, well, that's not really a business. That's not really someone operating their own business. And that's something that we have flipped on its head. We want to make sure that someone who's starting a cleaning business, they're going to obviously go for a steep learning curve because we're in a corporate environment. But rather than assuming, this is a big jump, going from maybe first-time business owner to now dealing with corporates, is well, how do you actually learn how to do that? How do you start managing teams of cleaners? How do you manage client relationships? So we're a big part of our system, which is quite different from a lot of the systems out there, is we are educating our